Time now to sit back and enjoy the second of the Scottish Cup quarter-finals. It's a glorious day in the northeast. Aberdeen against Queen's Park with Willie Miller and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. Yeah, welcome to Pittodrie. A beautiful spring day, as Kenny says, in the northeast, as Queen's Park look to perform another giant killing feat to reach the Scottish Cup semi-final for the first time in almost a century, with Aberdeen looking to ensure there are no more cup shock headlines at their expense, and instead book their own return to Hampden and a place in the last four. Hearts are already there. Celtic against Hibs to come tomorrow, followed by Livingston St Johnstone on Monday. The semi-final lineup will take shape over the course of this weekend, but on a beautiful sunny day here at Pittodrie, the two sides just about ready to go. Aberdeen all in red, Queen's Park in a change outfit, sort of navy with a light blue front, and the referee David Dickinson just going through the coin toss with Graham Shinney on his 600th club appearance this afternoon, and Callum Ferry, Queen's Park goalkeeper, who you would expect will have to be on top form again if his side are to progress here this afternoon. Just looking at the Queen's lineup, actually, I suspected it was going to be a three at the back, but Adam Devine looks like he's lining up in a left-back position with Mockin at right-back. Looks like a back four the way they're starting. Actually, Devine on the opposite side from which we would normally expect to see him, but we'll see how that shapes up. Aberdeen, as expected, with the four at the back, as the referee gets proceedings underway, and it's Queen's Park who kick us off as Sean Welsh fires it out to the right-hand side, and immediately Aberdeen get on the ball, and it's back with Alfie Dorrington, who steps into the starting lineup, who finds Nisbet, who does look like he's just playing in that pocket behind Dabag, and out to the left-hand side now for Keskinen. Keskinen strikes it, it's a dangerous ball, brave header there at the back to divert it out to the right-hand side. Here is Aberdeen pick up once more through Shaden Morris and back to Jensen, but that was an inviting ball in from Keskinen that so nearly found the head of Dabag. Here's Morris trying to get to the byline, as Willie likes to see him do, and he just sees it out for a corner kick. Bright start made by the home side, Willie.
Yeah, very bright. I mean, it's a really good cross from the left-hand side there. The almost picked out Kevin Nisbet. He wasn't far away from getting his head on it. Maybe just didn't time his run properly, wasn't in the right position. It is early in the game as well, so he's just finding his feet, but really bright start from the home side.
Morris takes a corner shot to Shinney here on the right-hand side, down in front of us, played forward there by Palaversa, looking for Morris again, but that doesn't come off. Queen's Park reading the Aberdeen set play there and getting the danger clear, but it's Aberdeen looking to prise open that visitors' backline, and Ferry gathers as the ball's played forward. The linesman's flag would have thwarted Dabag anyway, but Ferry wasn't to know that as he gathers the through ball and then rolls it out underarm to Nicola Udur, playing in the right side of the back line. There's a free kick being given to Queen's Park over on the far side, a challenge coming in, and Jack Turner gets himself back in his feet. It'll be a free kick to the visitors, about 10 yards inside their own half, right-hand side, the section of the pitch which is still shadowed by the stand over there on the far side. The rest of the surface bathed in sunshine, and pretty mild, you'd have to say, as well. Very welcome as Queen's Park venture into the Aberdeen box for the first time, and the shot is diverted wide there. It was Kyle Hurst who tried to get the shot away, and it's going to be a Queen's Park corner, an opportunity for the Championship side, Willie, to try and threaten.
Yeah, it was dangerous. Hurst trying to just manoeuvre and find a pocket of space.
Fire to the back post. Oh, that was goal bound as it was blocked on its way through there. It was beautifully hit just at the edge of the box, and Dimitar Mitov looked troubled there just for a moment. Didn't quite catch who met it there at the edge of the box, but it was a beautifully executed volley from the corner that was sent to the edge of the box, and I think if that hadn't been blocked, Willie, that Mitov might have been troubled by it.
You know, I'm taking a guess at this. I'm not 100% sure, but was it Will Tizard that had the strike? I mean, it was quite a magnificent strike from him. See if we can get a little replay on it here, but he takes it in the volley and just drills it, and it's blocked. I'm not sure who it came off of, but I think Mitov.
There could be an opportunity here for Queen's Park, and it's just miscontrolled there by Hurst, but he does find his way through to Zach Rudden, and a bit of calamitous defending almost there by Aberdeen. Eventually they work it clear. Clarkson finding Nisbet just inside his own half. I think it was Jack Turner who got that shot away earlier on, and here he is in possession once more just outside the Aberdeen box, clips it in towards the back post. Jensen this time, who just a moment ago tried to head the ball back to his goalkeeper and instead found Hurst, who really should have got the shot away. Back in it comes as Queen's Park threaten once more. They've really threatened this Aberdeen backline in the past couple of minutes, but Aberdeen pick up through Morris, who tries to drive Aberdeen up the pitch. He's done well to keep a hold of the ball. Now he slips in Dabag gets the shot away, it's just beyond the far post. Down goes Ferry, didn't get anything on it. It will be a goal kick, end to end stuff here at the start. 4 minutes in, Aberdeen nil, Queen's Park nil.
It's just going from one end to the other, and it's keeping your attention, that's for sure. And Queen's Park obviously are not here just to sit back and soak up the pressure. They've got a formation with it looks like two very forward-thinking wide players and two strikers, certainly a number 9 and number 10 there. And that first shot was travelling. I don't know if Mitov would have got to it. The initial strike, but then Hurst is in as well. It's Jensen that makes an awful mess of it. It's just a kind of a crossfield pass, and he doesn't judge it at all, and he allows Hurst in, and then Rudden actually gets another opportunity on it, and it's blocked. So yep, Queen's Park doing well.
And here they come once more. It's come all the way through to Kyle Hurst, who's on loan from Doncaster, and he had the opportunity after that mistake by Jensen. We just couldn't get the ball out from under his feet, and the chance was gone, but they've certainly started brightly as Devine sends it in. It's headed away by Dorrington. It'll be picked up there by Mochan, midway inside the Aberdeen half. He turns back the way to Udur, just more or less on the halfway line. Mochan once more right hand side, plays it back to Longridge, who clips it forward, and it's Drozd who'll pick up right hand side. Under pressure there from Shinnie, but he's tried to get the ball across. That's blocked, comes back to him, but he can't get the ball to a teammate, and Aberdeen pick up through Clarkson just inside his own penalty area. Plays it square to Dorrington. Almost 6 minutes on the clock, and a very bright opening by the visitors after Aberdeen had created one or two chances of their own. Looks like it's going to be a pretty open game as forward comes Jensen, the right hand side. Devine tracking him almost down at the corner flag. Devine just manages to stick in the boot and knock the ball out of play for an Aberdeen throw-in, which is quickly taken by Jensen. Back to Palaversa, now Morris, right hand side, controls it on the thigh and knocks it back to the Croatian Palaversa into the midfield for Clarkson. He picks out Morris nicely, about 5 yards from the byline, gets it into the penalty area, but it's not clear there by Tizzard. And Palaversa will just let it bounce out for an Aberdeen throw-in about 10 yards inside the Queen's Park half. Plays it back the way to Dorrington. Dorrington just inside his own half, plays it to Knuster, and Knuster just brings it slowly forward and then plays it back to Dorrington. Here's Palaversa on the halfway line, clips it down the line, looking for the run there of the advanced Jensen. Knocked out of play again by Devine. And it'll be an Aberdeen throw-in about 20 yards from the corner flag on the right hand side. 7 minutes in, no goals, but chances at either end as Dabag knocks it back to Jensen. Now it's Palaversa forward, but knocked away by Hurst up towards Rudden, who doesn't win it. Dorrington climbing above him, and then Clarkson's back there just to knock it high in the air. Welsh gets his head to it. Dorrington once more can't bring it under control initially, pressurised there by Hurst, and he gets a second bite at it, fortunately for the Aberdeen defender. Rudden working hard, but Palaversa wins it from him, and then across comes Tizzard to head it out of play as Aberdeen look to build the attack down the right hand side. The throw-in taken by Morris, who gets it back once more from Palaversa. Right hand side up against Devine, goes back the way to Palaversa. Jensen makes the run ahead of him, buys him a little bit of space. Ferry saw the cross all the way though inside his own 6 yard box. 8 minutes on the clock. The Queen's Park keeper has it in his possession. It's Aberdeen nil, Queen's Park nil.
Yeah, it's not good enough from Palaversa. Normally pretty accurate with his crosses down the right hand side here. but he puts it right on top of Ferry, who takes it really comfortably. Shayden Morris, he comes on as a substitute, and the only thing he wants to do is hit the byline. He's had 2 opportunities to hit the byline. He's in the starting lineup, and he's not taking any of them. I just can't understand what's going through his mind. Surely Jimmy Tilleen must be trying to get the message on to him. That is what he's good at, constantly hitting the byline. He's got Devine there that he's got to get tested, and he hasn't tested him yet. Chance now though.
Yeah, Shayden Morris up to the box, takes on Tizard, but he just overhit it, and it's out of play for a goal kick as Ferry come out to narrow the angle. But Shayden Morris, he's lightning quick, Willie, and as you say, if they can get him on the ball and he can try and run at that back line, then you would imagine he'll be able to get some joy there.
I think he's got to get them tested. He has got that pace. Defenders find it really difficult, even although they kind of can guess that he's going to try and hit the byline. But he's got to keep doing it. I think right from the start, he didn't start particularly positively. He was in 2 minds what to do, and he just relinquished that responsibility and just played it back the way or into a supporting player. Go and hit the byline, get them tested, and keep testing them. I'm sure that's what Jimmy Tilleen will be hoping that he can do.
Also, you've got to imagine with a right footer playing at left back against Morris, Adam Devine's going to want him to come inside. If he can take him on his weaker foot on the outside, then that's going to benefit the winger as well, isn't it?
I think every left back, whether you're right-footed or left-footed, you need to show Shayden Morris in the back, because he's so quick. If you show him down the line, unless you have got a start on him, unless you anticipate it, unless you are very quick yourself, then he's going to beat you. Normally he's going to beat you. So I would say, good point, Al. Right-footed player, get him onto my right side. And Devine, as I see his body situation when he's lining up against Morris, that's where he wants him to go. But for Morris, he's got to take him on his left side. He's got to go to the byline and get the crosses in. Here
is Devine, left-hand side, trying to build an attack for Queen's Park, but the pass for Rudden doesn't find him, and in steps Dorrington. Palaversa pokes it to Clarkson, still midway inside his own half. And now it's Jensen, right-hand side. Just crossing the halfway line into the feet of Dabag. Almost shows too much of it there to Hurst, and eventually dispossessed by the challenge that comes in from Longridge. Breaks back the way to the edge of the box there for Udur. Back to Callum Ferry, who plays it down the right-hand side. Shinnie just lets that run through to Knuster, and now Clarkson has it just at the edge of the centre circle in the Aberdeen half. Plays it forward to Palaversa, tries to thread a pass for Jensen. Might just be offside, but play will continue for now. Jensen into the box. Flag doesn't come. It's going to be a corner. It's cut out at the near post by Queen's Park. I thought Jensen maybe just was a yard or so offside there, Willie, but the flag doesn't come from the assistant, and it'll be an Aberdeen corner. 11 minutes in, goalless.
Yeah, good move though from Aberdeen. Really defence splitting pass as well, and Jensen is very eager to get himself forward, and it was a magnificent run. It was well timed. The cross wasn't so good, but they win a corner.
Palaversa from the right-hand side. Welsh gets it clear only as far as Clarkson. Curls one just over the top from Clarkson. Wouldn't quite sit for him initially. His first touch wasn't a perfect one, but he eventually got the shot off, and maybe half a yard over Callum Ferry's crossbar. Almost 12 minutes played, still Aberdeen 0, Queen's Park 0.
Yeah, it just fell to him nicely. He's working hard to get it under control. It's still, coming up pretty fiercely off the ground when it's not really a volley. It's off the ground, but he's taking it with the inside of his right foot. He's right curl it into the top corner. Not too far away. It's a good effort from Clarkson, but difficult to get that ball under control.
Yeah, he's certainly got the ability to hit the target from that kind of distance. We've seen a few really top-class goals from Leighton Clarkson in his time in an Aberdeen jersey, but not on that occasion. As Aberdeen look to build from the back, it's Knuster over the top looking for the run of Dabag. There's too much in the pass. Callum Ferry just sees that out of play over on the far side, and it'll be a Queen's Park goal kick. And obviously the victory over Rangers stands out in the Queen's Park run, but they almost were eliminated on a couple of occasions before they even got to that stage. They needed penalties to get past Partick Thistle, and then there was an injury time equaliser to take Montrose to extra time before they eventually won 3-2 in that one. So it's been an up and down run, but Here they are in the quarter-finals for the first time since 1982-83, where they lost to Rangers. There's a back pass there. Callum Ferry forced to rush, gets it clear before Dabag can pounce. Here's Morris now picking up, and he's crowded out, but the ball does come back to Clarkson. He finds Dabag at the edge of the box, can't find room for the shot, but it's out to Jensen, sends it to the back post. It's not a good cross though from the full back, and Ferry sees it out, but a big let off there for Udur, who just didn't look as he turned the ball back to his keeper, and Dabag so close to being in there, Willie.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to know where your opponent is as a defender. You know, when you're thinking about making that pass back, he didn't look at all. He wasn't aware that the bag was lurking, and you know, the bag wasn't far away from getting a little touch on that before Ferry could clear it. And you know, Aberdeen still have the ball, and Jensen again, it's a poor cross from Jensen. Like Palaversa, Jensen, you know, even Morris at times have got to do better. It's predominantly been down the Aberdeen right hand side. They've had opportunities to deliver better quality into the box, and they haven't done that.
No, so still goalless. 14 minutes played. Sunbathed Pittodrie as Devine prepares to take the throw in, more or less on the halfway line, left hand side for Queen's Park. Gets it back from Longridge and then plays it into the feet of Nicola Udur, the Australian centre back, out to the right hand side to Mawkin. Back with Udur once more, about 25 yards inside his own half. Plays it square here to Will Tizard and up to the halfway line to Longridge, just sitting at the heart of the Queen's Park midfield. Tries to whip it forward for Rudden, but Jensen had read that and he plays it forward to Morris. Morris, just a poor touch there, and Welsh easily able to step in, and Queen's Park have possession back. And it's Hurst playing it in, looking for the 1-2 with Rudden. Rudden felt he was caught there with the challenge, but the referee just points for the throw in to Aberdeen, which has already been taken. It's Knuster just turning it back to Mitov, and then Knuster picking up just at the edge of his own penalty area. We'll play it back to his Bulgarian goalkeeper, and Mitov then plays it out to Dorrington, who starts in place of the injured Tobers this afternoon. Longridge picks up possession for Queen's Park. Plays quarter of an hour. Mitov comes out of his penalty area. He's under a bit of pressure here. It's a poor clearance. Rudden, can he get the shot away? He sneaked it through instead for Hurst. Hurst at the edge of the penalty area takes on Knuster, and then his attempted cross is blocked there by Clarkson. It'll be a Queen's Park corner, but Mitov, well, he's very fortunate that Rudden couldn't get an immediate shot away. He was well left of centre. It would have been a really good effort to get it on target from that angle, but nonetheless Mitov played himself into all sorts of problems.
I cannot understand why he's away out there. I mean, right hand side, way out beyond his goal. Yeah, Rudden had an opportunity. I think it was Hurst as well that eventually took the ball to the byline.
In comes a corner from the left-hand side. Aberdeen get it out of the penalty area. Will be collected there by Tizard out to the right-hand side for Rudden, who gets it back to Tizard, who clips it back into the area. Headed away that time by Nisbet. Aberdeen looking to counter here. It's Keskinen. Just pokes it forward, looking for Shinnie, who's gone through the middle here. Comes off his heel, and Keskinen slips it forward. Dabag into the penalty area at the other end then. Finds the cross, but Shinnie couldn't get there. Ferry dives in it before the Aberdeen skipper could turn it into the net. A lightning counter-attack there from Aberdeen, but it comes to nothing. And so after, 17 minutes here at Pittodrie, it's Aberdeen 0, Queen's Park 0.
Yeah, really the first effort down the left-hand side for Aberdeen. And, you know, it's really good movement. And the bag times he's run extremely well, and Graham Shinnie's in there. He's in there, you know, almost like a striker looking to pounce, but the bag just can't find him.
Yeah, it was a pretty weak cross in the end from the Palestine international, and Shinnie, who'd made that burst forward from fullback, couldn't get the opportunity to get the opening goal here. It's pretty even, you would have to say. Queen's Park giving a good account of themselves. Mid-table in the championship. The playoff might not be completely beyond them, although they are 5 below fourth place Partick Thistle. But as we all know, the championship, things can change very quickly. Here's Nisbet, who's got good recent goal scoring record, finds Keskinen left hand side up against Mochan, trying to get the better of him, plays it back to Shinnie instead, 15 yards from the byline, swings into the back post. Morris climbs. Devine had the arm up there as he was challenging for that, and he's quite fortunate it doesn't come off that, but Queen's Park managed to work it clear, and here's Longridge helping it forward for Rudden. Across comes Dorrington to head out to this near side, and just seen out a play there by Hurst, although he got the final touch in it, and the assistant gives the throw into Aberdeen. Back comes Longridge, though good scrapping there in the midfield to win possession back for Queen's Park. Hurst with an ambitious crossfield ball. It's a poor one really, and just knocks out for a throw-in in the end to Aberdeen over on that far side, 10 yards inside their own half, taken by Shinnie.
I'm just thinking you can understand why Shayden Morris is usually used as a substitute in the second half. I mean, he started the game, so poorly, dwelling in the ball there. He's had numerous opportunities to take defenders to the byline, and he hasn't done it. That is what he's good at. He's got to be much sharper. He seems lacklustre. He seems as though at this moment in time the brain's not switched on, and he's not fully focused, and that's probably why Jimmy Talleen just uses him as a second half sub.
Yeah, you do get a few players like that who do seem to perform better as impact subs. Here he is in possession now, though, looking to try and take on Devine, takes him to the byline, ball into the 6-yard box, is cleared as far as Jensen, right hand side. Morris is still available. Another poor pass from Jensen, who hasn't had a particularly great start to the game either, but here he is once more, the Dane on the right hand side, plays it back in field to Palaversa. That was better from Morris as he took on Devine, but Queen's Park standing firm at the back as Shinnie plays it in field to Palaversa, about 20 yards inside Queen's Park territory. Dorrington now out to the left hand side for Knuster, into the feet of Nisbet, who seemed to be waiting on that. He's almost lost possession, but he's done well in the end to keep it. Now it's Jensen in a central area, 25 from goal, plays it to Shinnie, who's up at the edge of the penalty area. Keskinen quickly closed down by Welsh, but gets the pass off to Jensen, who finds himself over on the left flank at the moment. Now it's Knuster once more, going back the way though. Dorrington into the feet of Palaversa. That's better quick passing there from Aberdeen, and Clarkson gets it out to Morris on the angle of the box, right hand side, comes infield again. Willie won't like that shot, comes off Longridge though. It'll be an Aberdeen corner.
I think it would be more productive going on the outside. I've got to watch myself here because I can't constantly see it, but I'm hoping that Jimmy Talleen is actually trying to get that message onto him from an Aberdeen point of view. That's Adam. Is that Adam Devine that's down? I think.
Yeah, he's just gone down in the penalty. I didn't see if there was any contact with anyone, or if he's just
I think
pulled up.
I think it was a stretch out when Morris tried. Well, he did take him on. It was just a pure cross, and he's stretching for it. And I think he's maybe tweaked something. Not just 100% sure, but he seemed to have a reaction after he tried to block that one.
Rory Loy's watching proceedings in the Glasgow studio. Rory, what have you made of the game so far?
Yeah, I think Aberdeen are just ever so slightly starting to get more of the ball now. Jensen struggled, as you've said, Al, but it's very apparent when Aberdeen play the ball through the midfield. Clarkson especially switches a play out to Morris on one side, Keskinen on the other. That's when they start to really expose Queen's Park, and they need to do more of that. They've started to do it in the last 5 minutes or so, but they were quite direct to start the game. Queen's Park just kind of ate it up and counter-attacked on Aberdeen, or came back at Aberdeen. So it's noticeable when Aberdeen get the ball down and pass it and play that they are the superior team. They just need to do it more often.
I don't know if you got a replay, Rory, of the early effort. I think it was Turner who caught it on the volley. I've not seen a replay myself up here, but that looked like it might have troubled Mitov had it got through to him.
Yeah, it's a good strike, and it was blocked by the defender just in front of the goalkeeper. I think Mitov would have saved it, to be honest, Al, but it was still a good strike and certainly would have tested him had it been on target. It was a really bright start from Queen's Park, you have to say.
Well, it's an Aberdeen corner. Devine is off the field of play just now, having had treatment. Looks like he'll be okay to return as Morris plays the short corner back to Shinnie, and it's back with Morris once more into the penalty area. He comes now, he cuts it back, shot comes in. It's a weak one though from Keskinen, and an easy take from Callum Ferry. It's a well worked corner that time, Willie, from Aberdeen, but the final effort from Keskinen doesn't really bother the Queen's Park goalkeeper, still goalless.
No, it's a weak effort, isn't it? Keskinen should do much better. Morris actually gets a head up this time, you know, and it's a really good cutback, and what Keskinen has to do is have more confidence in his strike. It was one of these efforts that just lacked any kind of a confidence, and it was easy for Ferry just to pick the ball up, basically. But good work from Shane Morris, a little bit of space, well worked set piece too. But Keskinen, big opportunity, and it's just wasted.
Yeah, Devine's back on. He takes this throw in left hand side, and although there is a substitute being readied down there, Jaden Raymond is stripped and looks like he'll probably come on here for Devine, whose race after just 23 minutes looks like it might be run. Welsh knocks it back to Callum Ferry at the edge of his penalty to close down by the bag, but Ferry clips out to the right hand side for Zach Mawkin. Just plays it down that right flank. Back now with Udur, who tries to fire it forward. Clarkson in the way. Longridge though wins it once more for Queen's Park, and it's a poor attempted clearance by Knuster. Rudden goes to ground, claims for a free kick there. David Dickinson not interested, and Aberdeen come forward here through Keskinen. The Finn flying forward in that left hand side, cuts it back. Nisbet chance, can't get it goalwards, comes out to Morris right hand side, picks up and knocks it back to Jensen. Swings a decent ball in, away only as far as Shinnie at the edge of the box, fires it goalwards straight at Callum Ferry. Good take there from Ferry, decent dig from Shinnie, but straight at the keeper. And so after 24 minutes here, it's Aberdeen 0, Queen's Park 0.
It's brilliant, isn't it, from Keskinen? You know, he just gets a head down, he leaves everybody in his wake down that left hand side, and then across into the box is almost at the feet of Nisbet. I think it's a pace of it that just beats him. You know, if he makes contact, if Nisbet makes contact with that one, it's in the back of the net, and then Shinnie has a decent effort when it's you know, actually been played back outside to the box. Now, around about the 22 yards or so, Shinnie's had a strike it straight at the goalkeeper, doesn't over-test him. But great work from Keskinen. It's been mostly down the right. That's refreshing from an Aberdeen point of view to see it coming down the left as well.
Jaden Raymond's put the bib back on as a cross comes in from the left-hand side that Mitov gathers. Yeah, the substitute who looked like he was going to come on is just, as I say, put the bib back on. Devine looks to be okay for the moment at least, as he goes to try and close down Shane Morris at the halfway line. Morris goes back the way to Dorrington and then immediately plays into Palaversa, about 10 yards inside his own half, fires a brilliant diagonal out to Shinnie far side. Shinnie just shows too much of that there to Mawkin, who makes the challenge, and it's going to be a corner that comes off Mawkin last. Shinnie just with a poor touch there, but a brilliant crossfield ball from Palaversa to open things up.
Yeah, you know, Shinnie being really positive in the last 5-10 minutes or so down that left-hand side. He's looking for a free kick. I think it was a rather clumsy challenge. I mean, it might have been just watching a replay of it, but they get the corner kick, and Aberdeen really beginning to turn the screw.
Yeah, an opportunity here then from the left-hand side as Keskinen goes across to curl this one in near post, flicked on by Nisbet. Brilliant finish from Kevin Nisbet. The birthday boy gets a birthday goal at the near post. An exquisite flick beyond the goalkeeper, and it is an outstanding goal to open the scoring here. It's Aberdeen 1, Queen's Park 0.
The real Kevin Nisbet has turned up at Pittodrie, has he not? 2 goals last time out, and that is just magnificent. You know, Palaversa whips it in towards the near post. Nisbet's on the run. He's beyond the near post, actually. Just takes it with the outside of the right foot by the looks of it and guides it into the top corner. That is magnificent. That is a wonderful, wonderful goal. Well worked, both in the delivery and the execution. And Kevin Nisbet strikes again.
Yeah, it's 5 goals in his last 6 games, and he really has hit form. Both goals to drag Aberdeen level last weekend. The goal is confirmed by VAR, and Kevin Nisbet has his 10th goal of the season, his 2nd in the Scottish Cup, and what a wonderful finish it was. Delightful little flick at the near post, well beyond, as you say, really well beyond the near post. Actually, the angle was very much against him, but beat the goalkeeper, and Aberdeen have the breakthrough here and come forward looking for a quick second as Shinnie gets it into the middle. It's Nisbet laying it off there for Keskinen into the box, just a little roll under the boot there. Dabag tries to get the shot off. He should have laid it back to Nisbet. It was a much better option, and he took a fresh air swing at it, but still Aberdeen come. There's the second goal! Ode Dabag at the back post as Morris fired it right across the 6-yard box, and in the space of a couple of minutes Aberdeen have got 2 goals and are well on their way to the Scottish Cup semi-finals. Aberdeen 2, Queen's Park 0.
The new striker, I'm having a laugh to myself, because he should have laid it off for Nisbet. It was a great opportunity for Kevin Nisbet to get his second. He doesn't, and then the ball bounces in front of him. He has a swipe at it, misses the ball completely. It ends up out at Morris, who looks up and drills it across the face of the goal, and who is the culprit, the bag, as he's celebrating to just stroke it into the back of the net. A little bit of good fortune initially, but well executed at the end of the day. And Morris didn't have to go to the byline on that occasion. He just drills it across the face. It's an angled cross, and there is the bag. Times his run perfectly at the back post, unmarked. He just strikes it and strokes it into the back of the net. Ode
Dabag with his second Aberdeen goal, putting Aberdeen very much, Rory Loy, in the driving seat.
Yeah, last time he came to me it was 0-0, and I said that Aberdeen were starting to show their dominance. They're passing the ball quickly now, they're moving it, they're getting it from side to side really quickly. Nisbet's finish is wonderful. I don't know who's meant to be marking him, but it's a wonderful finish, and Aberdeen really showing their dominance now. Yeah, they've got their tails up, haven't they? And here they come looking for more. Smell blood. Queen's Park are very much rocking here at Pittodrie, and just need to settle themselves down. Half an hour gone, and they find themselves in the blink of an eye 2 goals down, having been very much in the opening 25 minutes, but Aberdeen deadly on a couple of occasions there, and have a very healthy lead here at the half-hour mark. You wouldn't imagine they're going to throw it away from here, but they'll be looking to add further goals to make sure of that. Yeah, you certainly wouldn't. I mean, the 2 goals in quick succession, it puts them really in control of this game. They were in control of it before they got the goals. With the goals, it's going to be a huge ask for Queen's Park to get anything out of this game. They need the next goal. I would think that would be for sure, and Aberdeen will be looking to make it 3, just to take away any doubts that are maybe still lingering in their fans' mind that they're going to throw this one away. They're in a great position to get into the semi-final. Yeah, they were there last season as well, eventually losing out to Celtic in a thrilling Scottish Cup semi-final. But of course, as Willie knows all too well, last time they lifted this famous trophy back in 1990, it is a drought that has gone on way too long as far as the Dons fans are concerned. That was a period, the decade prior to that, they were very much the dominant side in the Scottish Cup. And there's at least one generation of Dons fans have grown up, maybe you would have to say more than that, not knowing what it is to lift that trophy. But here come Queen's Park, who've certainly gone a lot longer. It was back in the 19th century when they won the last of their 10 Scottish Cup trophies. Here they come forward. It's Welsh at the edge of the penalty area, looking to try and find a bit of space. Goes back to Longridge. 2-0 they trail. Now it's Udur, but 10 yards inside Aberdeen territory, out to the right hand side. Mochan back with Udur once more. Aberdeen pressing them high, as Jimmy Tilleen wants them to do. Back with Callum Ferry at the edge of his own penalty area, beaten a couple of times. Don't think there's anything much he could have done about either goal that went beyond him from either Nisbet or Dabag, both front men on the score sheet here at Pittodrie. We've got live championship commentary to follow this. Falkirk, the leaders, against relegation threatened Dunfermline in that hotly contested fixture. Falkirk looking to take advantage of the fact that Livingston are in Scottish Cup action this weekend, although Ayr United also breathing down their necks. It's back with Callum Ferry in the Queen's Park goal. And they haven't played badly, Queen's Park. I think it's been a decent performance up to now. It's just the fact that Aberdeen have found that goal touch. 2 really well worked goals. And not a great deal, I don't think, defensively, that Queen's Park
could have done about them. And they're playing some nice football. It's easy in the eye, but it's a mountain to climb for them now.
Yeah, a couple of 3-0 wins in the competition already for Aberdeen. Haven't conceded a goal in beating both Elgin and the aforementioned Dunfermline, and a couple of goals to the goods here at Pittodrie against Queen's Park with 33 minutes on the clock, and looking very comfortable right now, Jimmy Tilline's men, as the ball is played short from Dorrington to Palaversa, who provided that corner, the assist for Nisbet's opener. Morris as well, challenged there by Devine, and it comes back off Morris, and it's out for a throw-in on this near side, about 10 yards inside the Queen's Park half from their left flank. Throw-in taken by Devine for Welsh. She goes back the way to Will Tizard, midway inside his own half then. Queen's Park, as Willie says, very much need the next goal in the game if they're to make any sort of contest of it. Ball plays forward, looking for Rudden. Doesn't quite fall for him, but draws will pick up. Now it's back with Rudden, midway inside the Aberdeen half. Now Longridge switches play to the right to Mawkin, up against Keskinen, trying to force him back the way. Mawkin forward now down that right flank. It's Turner just plays it off Shinnie. It'll be a throw into Queen's Park in front of their travelling band of about 400 or 500 fans across there on the far side. Here's Drozd, who will, whatever happens here, forever be remembered. Here's Turner though, right hand side. It's a good ball and it's looking for Rudden, but it's intercepted before he can get there by Dorrington. A really important header almost inside the 6-yard box there, and then Mitov claims as the ball played high in the air off the head of Dorrington. That was a decent move though from Queen's Park. Yeah, it was, and a very decent cross into the box, looking for Rudden, and almost find him, because Dorrington, I don't know what is he, 6'4", something like that. Tall, yeah. Anyway, and he had to use all that height just to pop the ball up in there. Didn't get a particularly good header on it, but he got enough on it just to take the sting out of it. If he'd missed that one, then Rudden scoring, that's for sure. And he just popped it up for Mitov to come and take it. But again, you know, 2-0 down, but still playing some nice football, still building the game up, still creating opportunities. So, you know, Queen's Park certainly not out of this game yet, but they do need something. You know, they need something in front of that Aberdeen goal. They need to find the back of the net. Yeah, they could do with that before half-time. 10 minutes until the interval. Aberdeen leading by 2-0. Nisbet and DeBag within a couple of minutes of each other have Aberdeen looking good here in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. Draws well challenged there by Knuster at the expense of another Queen's Park corner, left-hand side. And the Championship side will look to try and get back into this game here from the corner kick. Devine has come forward to take it. The right-footed full-back on loan from Rangers. He's out of contract at Ibrox in the summer. Plays the corner short to Hurst. Hurst then plays it back to Devine. Devine into Longridge, edge of the box. Oh, he's trying to get the shot away, but Clarkson's nicked it from him, and now he leads the counter-attack, and Aberdeen bombing forwards. It is Clarkson for DeBag, just forced slightly out to the left-hand side. Still bodies coming forward though for the Dons, up against Mawkin. It's DeBag just slowing things up now, and the momentum runners going out of that counter, which looked really promising there as Clarkson led it, but just petering out. Nonetheless, Aberdeen still in possession, right-hand side, and it is Clarkson. Midway inside Queen's Park half. Back now for Dorrington, and Jensen back with Dorrington on the halfway line, more or less. Inside it goes to Palaversa, who plays it to his left to Knuster, and forward for Shinnie. Shinnie was one of those players getting forward in support of Clarkson. That's a couple of times he's got up on the counter, but the ball hasn't fallen for him, and that pass has gone straight behind for a Queen's Park goal kick. But that could and perhaps should have been better for Aberdeen on that counter, Willie. Yeah, they should have taken more advantage of it. Then Clarkson will be disappointed with the weight of pass that he put to the bag. I think he just has to roll it there. He doesn't have to really, you know, put any pace on it, because he's got. This could be a chance for Rudden. Again, he's forced slightly out to the left-hand side. The pass through from Welsh comes back the way to Welsh, midway inside the Aberdeen half. Back the way now to Udur at the edge of the centre circle in Aberdeen territory. Forward looking for Turner, but Turner's well challenged by Shinnie. Breaks though for Mawkin, right hand side, coming up towards the edge of the penalty area. Foul by Keskinen about 25 yards from goal. It'll be a free kick to Queen's Park. It's well right of centre, but nonetheless a promising situation for the visitors, Willie.
Yeah, and again, it's going from one end to the other, but you're not getting much time to explain what's actually happening before you've got another incident at the other end of the park. So, you know, Queen's Park doing extremely well, responding magnificently well, to be perfectly honest, to going 2-0 down. The heads have not went down at all. They've still got that belief, still taking the game to Aberdeen. Clarkson should have done better on the break. I thought maybe Shinnie was a better option for him.
Here's Devine with the free kick, clips in towards the back post. Out comes Mitov and takes it well. Commanding goalkeeping, and he looks to release it early. Denied that opportunity, no real options available to him. Instead he just rolls it out to Dorrington. But that was a good position that Queen's Park found themselves in, not taking advantage of it, which they really need to do at 2 goals down.
Yeah, it's a poor ball in, isn't it, Devine? You know, the quality of the cross was so easy for Mitov to come and collect
floaty,
that one. Yeah.
Here's Shinnie trying to get a better cross in from the left-hand side, headed away, picked up by Palaversa just outside the box. Now Clarkson on the angle at the left-hand side, up against Louis Longridge. Out to the left it goes to Shinnie. Shinnie on the right foot tries to curl it into the back post. Morris is on the move, headed back in by Hurst, and it's going to come out to Jensen at the edge of the penalty area. Tries to lose Welsh there. Morris makes a move. Instead it goes infield to Nisbet, who's looking nippy at the edge of the box. Plays it to Keskinen. Back with Clarkson. He's dispossessed, but it comes to Palaversa, who clips it forward. The bag on the left. Very adventurous from the tight angle, and he goes for goal, but way off target from the forwards. And it remains, after 39 minutes here at Pittodrie, Aberdeen 2, Queen's Park 0.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that finish. You know, eventually it falls to the bag. He is in an onside position, so it's a big chance, but it is a really tight angle. Has he got the option maybe to, with the left foot, drill it across the face? He does have 2 red jerseys in the box, but he goes for glory. He has a go at it and puts it way over the bar.
De Bag has been penalised now for a challenge there on Sean Welsh, and both players are left writhing on the ground after that challenge in the middle of the Queen's Park half. So a slight delay here as the referee checks whether either or both of them need any attention. I think at least one of them, if not both, do need attention. It gives us a chance to cross back to the Glasgow studio and hear the latest thoughts in the game from Rory Loy. Anyway, back into this game, do you think, for the visitors, Rory? It's a big ask, isn't it?
It is a big ask, because they need to be careful they don't lose more goals, because Aberdeen look more than capable of scoring again. But the one glimmer of light Queen's Park will have is that when they go forward, they can cause Aberdeen problems. They just need to make better decisions in the final third. You know, the Dorrington and Jensen are struggling. You know, a simple ball over the top, Rudden's able to get in behind. That type of thing will give them confidence. It'll give them belief that if they can get the next goal, they could get back in it. Because it's not like Aberdeen are completely secure at the back. They are getting opportunities, Queen's Park. However, my fear for Queen's Park would be that if they do commit too many men forward, Aberdeen's quality up the other end is going to end up ending them being 3-0 down now.
Yeah, very possibly. Welsh is still down getting treatment. De Bag looks to be okay. The Aberdeen physio team making their way off, but the Queen's Park medics still treating the experienced Welsh in the middle of the park. They wouldn't want to lose him, the 34-year-old, but we'll see. He captained Inverness Cally Thistle in the Scottish Cup final defeat by Celtic a couple of years back. He's limping pretty heavily. He was just caught as he tried to play the pass forward. The bag put the foot in and caught him late, and hopefully he can shake that off and return to the fray. We've got about 3 minutes left plus stoppage time in this opening period. Aberdeen leading by 2-0. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, with the Scottish Cup quarter-final action to be followed by Championship commentary from Falkirk against Dunfermline at 3 o'clock, as ball's played back to Callum Ferry. And now it's out with Udur, closed down by Nisbet. Good play from Nisbet. Keskinen almost taking advantage of the loose ball there, and Aberdeen do pick up in the middle of the park through Palaversa. Now it's Shinnie. Shinnie forward for Nisbet, who looks for Keskinen. Udur looked to play that off Keskinen, and it is a throw in. I'm just looking to see, is Welsh come back on, will he? He is back in the middle of the park there, so looks to be okay. He'll definitely look to, you would imagine, see this through to half-time and maybe get a little bit more treatment if required at that point. But it's side trail by 2-0, and Shinnie bringing Aberdeen forward down the left-hand side once more, about 10 yards from the corner flag. Back to Clarkson on the angle of the box. Rudden makes the challenge, back helping out his defence, trying to ensure that Queen's Park don't lose a third before half-time, because that would surely be game over at that stage. Here's Dorrington on the halfway line, just turns the ball back to Mitov, who's well outside his area. He plays out to the left-hand side to Knuster. What have you made of Knuster since his arrival at Pittodrie, Willie?
Yeah, I think he settled in pretty well. Good left foot on him. Plays with the head up. I wouldn't say that there has been that solidity at the back yet, but he's just through the door as well. But I think he's a great prospect.
Shinnie plays it in from the left-hand side, just ahead of DeBag. Comes to Morris, right-hand side. Devine gets something on it. DeBag just tries to nod it back to Jensen, but in steps Hurst. He goes down, but the referee not interested in that, as Clarkson picks up right-hand side, tries to feed it into the edge of the box, but Sean Welsh is in the way, just picking up a good position, but Hurst's lost out once more to the bag. Clarkson gets it to Nisbet and back with Palaversa. Clarkson then back to the halfway line for Dorrington, into Palaversa once more. Dorrington picks up possession again and plays it square to his central defensive partner Knuster, and then to Shinnie, who's at left back again this afternoon, having come on at half-time, and certainly made a difference, didn't he, Willie, to that? Well, certainly the Aberdeen performance was a lot better, and I think Shinnie's introduction was certainly part of that.
I thought he was very powerful down the left-hand side in the second half against United. He's a great influence in the team as well. He's got energy, he's got experience, he's got quality.
Here's Nisbet, 35 yards from goal, ambitious effort. It was blocked by Tizard. Nisbet claiming it came off his arm. The referee allowing play to continue. Didn't see that myself, certainly, so no free kick given, as Queen's Park just hammer it forward. Jensen closed down there by Droz, gets the ball up to the halfway line before he was clattered there by last round's hero. Nisbet again dropping off and playing the ball down the right hand side to Morris, up against Devine here, just outside the penalty area. Poor effort, a cross or pass there from Morris, comes off Devine and out for a throw-in in this near side. 3 minutes to be added on at the end of the first period. Aberdeen leading by 2-0. We're into injury time now, as Dorrington plays it back onto the centre spot, more or less, for Knuster, who goes to his left to Clarkson. Aberdeen in command, and very much looking like they will join Hearts in the semi-final draw. Remember, Celtic Hibs will have live coverage of that tomorrow here on Sportscenter, 3 o'clock kick-off, before a live TV and radio coverage, as well as online, of Livingston against St Johnstone. Palaversa into the area. Nisbet with a glancing header onto the roof of the net. Ferry backpedaling just for a moment. He's not the tallest goalkeeper, Callum Ferry, and that had him worried just for a second, but just looked too high from Nisbet, and it remains in first half stoppage time, Aberdeen 2, Queen's Park 0.
He probably did as well as he could, Kevin Nisbet, in that occasion. He's coming back to Park, and Palaversa's clipped one in, good curl on it. I can see what he's trying to achieve. If Nisbet's a little bit deeper, perhaps he's onto it and gets it with his forehead. It comes off the top of his head. It does, look towards goal, but always going over the bar.
2-0 then, as Rudden picks up possession, tries to shake off Palaversa, gets the shot off, but drags it well wide, and it's a goal kick to Aberdeen. A very ambitious effort there from about 30 yards almost from Rudden, and Queen's Park, for all their endeavour and decent play at the outset, well, they haven't really been able to trouble Dimitar Mitov in the Aberdeen goal.
No, not really, but the intent's there. I think the formation with the two strikers up top as well, and they haven't lost faith. That they've got that belief. They think that they can still get back into this game. They need to be better in the final third, that's for sure. But I think generally the build-up play has been decent. It's just maybe the lack of quality and the lack of that striker in there that is going to take any opportunity that they're going to be able to create. And as we've said, it's tough for them now, 2-0 down, approaching half-time. I think Callum Davidson's got a big half-time chat to have with them. But if they get the next goal, then they're right back in it.
Yeah, well, Aberdeen dragged themselves back from 2 goals down last weekend against Dundee United. Can Queen's Park do something similar? Not quite at the interval yet though, as Morris picks up right hand side, almost at the byline, up against Devine. Dancing feet. Devine sticks to his task, but Morris still has it. But Devine eventually gets the final touch to knock it behind for a corner. The Aberdeen fans though appreciating the intent there from Shane Morris, and he wins his side a corner. The last few seconds of the first period, 2-0 Aberdeen lead.
Yeah, he's tightly marked. Devine is right on top of him. He doesn't have enough lot of space. He's got to try and create it. A few step overs, and then he goes to the byline. But Devine, good defending from the left back. He just manages to get a low touch, but giving away the corner.
Palaversa, right hand side, out swinger, comes all the way out to Graham Shinney, who watches it, fires it goalwards, it's in! Callum Ferry got a touch to it, but it's on to the post and in the back of the net. And on his 600th appearance in club football, Graham Shinney has duly wrapped up this Scottish tie before half time. It's Aberdeen 3, Queen's Park 0.
Listen, it's a brilliant strike from Shinney. You know, he's got plenty of time to just measure it and put the laces through it, but Ferry should get to it. I don't think there's any danger that I'm wrong in saying that. He gets a hand to it at the far post. It's, 24 yards out. It doesn't, in defence of the goalkeeper, he doesn't get a particularly good view. There's a lot of bodies in front of him, but that left foot strike takes a wicked bounce in front too. Are they talking about a touch, a deflection? I didn't see the deflection. I'm not sure who that is. It's in there. Is it Keskinen that's in there? If he's touched it, I think he's offside.
Yeah,
we'll check it.
I didn't see a touch myself, but Rory, you'll be looking at replays, I would imagine, at this stage. Anything to worry about as far as Graham Shinney's concerned?
Yeah, well, initially I did think it took a nick, but it's very, very difficult to say. I don't think on first viewing that Keskinen is offside. I've had one replay of it. I don't think he is offside, but we'll wait and see.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting. You know, just in real time it didn't look.
No, it's a goal. And it's also half time. The Dons fans rise to applaud their team off. Very different atmosphere from half time a week ago when they trooped off at 2-0 down. But this time they are as good as through in this Scottish Cup quarter-final after 3 goals in the first period. The first one coming as a Palaversa corner kick from the left-hand side was whipped in near post, and Kevin Nisbet, with the deftest of flicks, put it past Callum Ferry and into the back of the net. Within a couple of minutes they were 2-0 up as Shane Morris from the right hand side flashed the ball into the back post, and there was Ode de Bag to knock home to make it 2-0 and put Aberdeen in a very comfortable position. And that got even more comfortable just a few seconds ago, deep into stoppage time at the end of the first half. The Palaversa corner this time from the right hand side, an outswinger to Graham Shinney at the edge of the box. He let it bounce once before firing it goalwards. Callum Ferry went down to his left, got something on it, as Willie said, probably should have kept it out, but he could only touch it onto the inside of the post and into the back of the net to make the half-time scoreline in this Scottish Cup quarter-final tie. Aberdeen 3, Queen's Park 0.
Aberdeen versus Queen's Park.
He's still going. Oh, great finish!
The Scottish Cup, live on Sportsound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Takes a touch and shoots and scores!
Where Scottish football lives.
Last time in the Europa League.
And it is a famous victory for Rangers here in Istanbul. It is Fenerbahce 1, Rangers 3.
Now Rangers return to Ibrox for the home leg.
As ever, BBC Radio Scotland has you covered.
Rangers in pole position for a place in the Europa League quarter-finals.
European football lives here.
And Charlie rolls it home. Brilliant goal by Rangers.
Sportsound, Thursday from 6. Listen on your digital radio or by asking your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. When the game, the cup tie at Pittodrie, is done and dusted, our attention will switch to the Championship. The leaders Falkirk at home to Dunfermline. Rory Loy's alongside me in the studio. He's already given this one the big build-up. The rivalry is very real in that one. So all that to look forward to, Rory. But in terms of this one as a contest in Pittodrie, it's done, isn't it?
Yeah, that third goal's just sealed it. I did say that my fear for Queen's Park, if they committed too many men forward, was Aberdeen would score. I don't think it did come from that type of situation, actually. It was just a really good strike by Graham Shinney on the edge of the box, which finds its way into the back of the net. Willie's right, Callum Ferry's got to save it. He's got to do better. and get his side in 2-0 down at half time. But it's 3. Just seen the finish again from Kevin Nisbet. A bit of magic, and that really calmed Aberdeen down. I spoke before the game and said application, attitude, moving the ball quickly, all these types of things would diminish any chance Queen's Park had of an upset. And out with the first 15 minutes, where Queen's Park started the game pretty well, Aberdeen have done that in abundance. Dorrington and Jensen have looked suspect a couple of times. They've not played badly by any stretch, but any joy Queen's Park have had has been down that side. So yeah, look, Aberdeen thoroughly deserve the lead, 3-0 up. I think Clarkson's been really good in terms of taking the ball off the defence, making things happen, forward passes, forcing his team to get up the pitch in good areas, rather than just being too direct at times, which hasn't worked for them. Clarkson's been good, Palaversa's been good, and yeah, they're good value for their lead, you have to say, at half time, Aberdeen. Yeah, well, you know that at all. There's real quality for that goal from Kevin Nisbet. I think it's fair to say, Willie, it's been quite a disappointing spell for him at Aberdeen, but there have been signs in recent weeks that he's returning to his best, which is very, very good. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that he's been improving, and that instinct, that kind of a goal scorer's instinct of being in the right place at the right times. Hit the post a couple of times where he's had opportunities that he should have put into the back of the net, but he was so far away from the Kevin Nisbet that we all know, for most of his time here. But recently he's began to hit the back of the net, and that's what strikers are about, isn't it? Whenever they start scoring goals, that's when the confidence grows. Listen, that was a magnificent strike from Kevin Nisbet this afternoon. Watching it again, at the time I thought it was good, but watching it again, it's fabulous. It's top drawer, it's top quality. And you know what? He's taking part in the game as well. He's playing in that number 10 role. I was going to ask you that, Willie. What do you make of that, playing in the number 10? Because as a former striker, I personally would rather start up the pitch and come into the space that's there. Yeah. But he kind of stays in there as he likes to play, and he seems to be relatively good at it. He seems to be enjoying it, Rory. That's the thing, and he's playing with a bit of enthusiasm. Prior to, I would say, the last 6 weeks, you're watching him, and the body language was not good. Now that's all turned round. He started to score goals. He's playing in that position that he's obviously enjoying. He's communicating. He's getting an understanding with the fans as well. He's waving to the fans, he's talking to the fans, he's gesturing to the fans, but on the field of play he's taking part, and he's actually been vocal. And that goal was just right out the very top drawer. Funny as well, Willie, isn't it? Because see, the last round against Dunfermline is that terrible miss, and you're thinking, if he doesn't get that goal in the next 10 minutes, you're just wondering whether he starts the next game, where his head's at, where his confidence is at. It's just football, how quickly it can change. It's a terrible miss, and then all of a sudden he scores towards the end of the game, and he's went on a good run. And it is his confidence. You can see that confidence. You can see it with his movement in the box. The goals apart, he's still making the right kind of moves in the box, whereas before he wasn't. He was very static, a bit pedestrian, but he's enjoying his game. He's playing with a smile on his face. He's scoring goals, and when goal scorers are scoring goals, then that's when they're at their happiest. Yeah, he reminds me, Rory, a bit of actually Lawrence Shankland. He's quite an intelligent footballer, and he can play that role just in behind the striker very well. Yeah, he can. As I said, listen, not today. It's worked very well today, and it's obviously worked well the last couple of weeks. I think he's instinctive in the box, and they've been up the pitch quite often today, given they're a better side in Queen's Park. Let's make no bones about it. On a week-to-week basis in the top flight, I would quite like to see him slightly further up personally, because I think there's times where the play happens whilst he's still in that number 10 position, and I'm thinking, if that was Kevin Nisbet, further up 10-15 yards further up the pitch, he's going to get the opportunity or get a goal. He is capable of linking the play, but I would rather see him slightly further up, and it means that if the space is there to go into the number 10, he can. And my concern with Nisbet is if he's linking the play and getting out wide, by the time the ball comes into the box, you really want him in there. The bag scores a good goal and has shown predatory instinct as well today. As I said, it's no criticism of Kevin Nisbet at all. He's been really good today, and he's been really good for the last couple of weeks. It's just a personal preference. If it was me, and I had Nisbet's predatory instincts, I would probably rather start further up the pitch, so that I know that if the ball comes in, I'm going to be there and go into that space if it opens up. I was wondering what Kevin Nisbet might have said to the bag if he hadn't put his goal in. When he's got the opportunity, and Kevin Nisbet's in that number 10 position, all he has to do is
just roll it back to him, Rory. And Nisbet, I think a great chance of finding the back of the net with it, and he doesn't. He turns and he actually has a swipe at it and misses it completely and falls in his backside. And you know, I'm thinking, I know what I'd be saying to him if I was Kevin Nisbet, but then Morris puts the one across the face of the goal, and the bag you know, strokes into the back of the net to get him out of jail a little bit.
I think it's the psychology of the striker, really. I think if the bag had scored his goal before that opportunity came along, he would have laid it off to Nisbet. But I think he was just desperate to get a goal himself.
Which is not a bad thing.
No,
not a bad thing.
Definitely not.
Well, he talked to us about Graham Shinnie making his 600th first-team club appearance today. He's been a terrific servant for Aberdeen Football Club.
Oh, he's been brilliant, yeah, and he is a leader. You know, he leads by example, and I'm sure that he leads in the dressing room as well. But on the pitch, you know, I think when I've watched him recently, I'm just a little bit concerned about his legs in the midfield, particularly when it's him and Nielsen together. I think both in their 30s, and you know, they're not in their prime, but they've got really good experience, and they use that experience out there. He's now moved to the left back. You know, Jack McKenzie's getting sorted out. I don't know if it's his performances or the fact that he's not signing a contract, but Jimmy Talleen is obviously making a statement there. And he can play that. He came on in the second half against Dundee United. I thought he was really, really powerful. I thought his drives down the left-hand side were exciting and really caused United all sorts of problems. And he's been really good today again. He's got forward. The legs are not showing any weakness. And that's him coming from a full-back position. So maybe I'm wrong with that in the midfield. Do you do more running in the midfield than you do at full-back? Probably. There may be longer runs as a full-back, but in the midfield you're up, down constantly. But he's just been a brilliant example, a fantastic leader as well. You know, a great club captain too.
A nightmare to play against, Rory. You'll have done that many times.
Yeah, I've played against Graham Shinnie plenty of times. You know, he's a warrior and he gets stuck in. I wouldn't have said he's a nightmare to play against.
I mean, niggly, is that sort of type in the part that would get in your face?
Oh, aye, but there's a lot of central midfield players out there like that. But he's suited to Aberdeen. You know, he's from Aberdeen, supports Aberdeen, and he's there and he does very well for them, and he's been consistent over a number of times. You can hang your hat on him. And if you can hang your hat on someone as a manager who's going to give you 6 or 7 at the very least out of 10 every week, then you'll get picked most weeks. And Graham Shinnie is exactly that. Very rarely gives the ball away, gets stuck in, and he's a very good all-round football player. I do agree with what Willie's saying in terms of his legs in midfield. I would say you probably do run a bit more in midfield, but you know what's good for him today is that it's when Keskinen goes in the pitch and the ball's on the right hand side, he can then stroll up and then get the switch of play, and so he's not taking it on the run. It's not long bursting runs he's doing. He's taking a touch, maybe getting it in the pitch, as Willie's face appears on the television in front of us just there.
Oh yeah, some nice footage
documentary.
Yeah.
There you go. But he's been good today, really good. And when Keskinen holds his width, he can simply just back him up and be the out ball if Keskinen needs to go back the way. So it's quite a nice little afternoon for him, topped off well with a magnificent strike.
I hope that they're not getting Al having his sausage roll, by the way, in that
thankfully
screenshot.
Not. Thankfully not. No, it's some nice footage, some nice archive there of yourself and the boss, and Mark McGee was just on there. Gordon Strachan's on the screen now, waxing lyrical. We're just seeing a shot of the dressing room, Willie and Sir Alex having words. Who's that he's patting in the head? Is that big?
Having words.
Aye. And there he is. There's Willie there. Head down in the dressing room.
He's not coming near me, that's for sure.
You're absolutely right. He knows better. So, yeah, a nice wee nostalgic piece there on the television. Of course, the game's on the television as well today. Willie, where are we on Shayden Morris?
I think there's only one thing I would say to Shayden Morris: hit the byline, son. Just hit it. Just keep hitting it. Just keep doing it. Even if a defender knows that you're going to the byline, the pace that you've got, it's going to be very difficult for him to get in front of you or to stop you crossing the ball. He started really tamely, I felt. He had opportunities to go to the byline. He had opportunities to take Devine on, and he just relinquished the responsibility of doing that. His pass for the goal was a very good pass, but if he would just keep that positive mental attitude when he comes on as a substitute in the second half, and he lights the game up. He's torture for defenders. He creates opportunities. He goes to the byline, and we know as a defender, I know as a defender, if you've got anyone going to the byline and cutting the ball back, really, really difficult to defend against. And he's turned so many games for Aberdeen round coming on as a substitute. He now gets his chance for the starter. Just a little bit frustrated, and I'm sure the manager's a little bit frustrated that he hasn't, you know, just consistently gone to the byline, because I think Devine would struggle, really would struggle. He's happier if Morris goes into his right foot, goes in the park. He's also got defenders in the park as well. And that's it. That's all I would say to him. I don't think you have to give him too much information. I think he's an instinctive wide player that does one thing, and he does it supremely well. He goes to the byline and he gets crosses in. So why not just keep doing it, Shaden, please?
Yeah, that pace is absolutely electric. But as you say, quite a lot of frustration comes with that from a manager's point of view, certainly, Rory. So speaking of managers, there's not an awful lot that Callum Davidson can do. It's damage limitation now, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll be caught between that rock and a hard place where he'll want to try and get the next goal. He'll want to try and get back into the game. But as you say there, Kenny, if they do lose an early one in the second half, it could get ugly pretty quickly, because Jimmy Tilleen will go to his bench, and then you've got rejuvenated players who are coming onto the pitch who want to try and make an impression to get into the side, and it'll just be relentless. It just won't stop. So look, it's a fine line he's walking at the moment, Callum Davidson, so he might make a couple of changes. I don't know. If not now, then certainly around 60 minutes, but he'll not want it to get any worse than it's currently sitting at the moment, that's for sure.
Right, in 30 seconds, Rory, the teams are just going back out. Tee up our second commentary offering of the day. So this one's done and dusted at Pittodrie. Our attention switches to the Championship. We're at Morton against Ayr United, but our commentary comes Falkirk against Dunfermline. That rivalry, as I said, is very real. I've played in a good few of those, Kenny, and not once has there been a spare seat in the house. So that's what it means to the fans. Big for the fans, huge in fact. Falkirk going for the title, Dunfermline looking to avoid relegation. Falkirk will be desperate to relegate Dunfermline. Dunfermline will be desperate to stop Falkirk winning the title. All to look forward to. Back to Pittodrie, Aberdeen against Queen's Park with Willie and Al.
Thanks, Kenny. Aberdeen about to get us back underway. Jaden Raymond has come on at half-time for the visitors. It looked like he was going to come on for Adam Devine, who took a bit of a knocker or a strain in that first period. He managed to get to half-time, but he has gone off now, the full-back, and so it looks like Raymond into centre of midfield, Louis Longridge back to right-back, and I think Zach Mochan across to left-back. So a bit of a reshuffle there from Callum Davidson's side, who clearly, I mean, very, very long odds of them managing to get back into this cup tie. How do you try and motivate a side, Willie, at half-time that are already trailing by 3-0? As Keskinen gets it into the penalty area and it's swept away by Mochan as Aberdeen threatened to make it 4 at the very start of this second period. But it's a really tough, I mean, is it realistic even to try and, you know, G them up for a second half?
I think it's virtually impossible to convince you know, a team like Queen's Park that comes to Pittodrie and find themselves 3-0 down at half time. You know, players are not daft either. Well, I've played with one or two that are, and I have to take that sentence back. But the majority aren't. They know, and from a football point of view, they know that, you know, for a manager to say, what, 3 quick goals and we're back in this, mind you, I have had that phrase, and I could maybe speak about that later on, at half time when we were down, was it 2 or 3 at Liverpool as well? But that was treated with the contempt that it should be. I think it's really difficult for a manager to try and turn it round, to try and inspire your team. I think it is about you know, not letting the roof fall in on you. Yeah. I think you don't want it to get embarrassing.
No, for sure. Queen's Park will probably have to turn their attentions back to trying to reach the playoffs, sitting in 6th position coming into this weekend, but it looks very much like their Scottish Cup heroics will come to an end. Coming forward just now, but the ball forward looking for Rudd in his cutout, and Aberdeen pick up possession. They'll look to certainly add to their tally in this second period as Clarkson fires a diagonal looking for Keskinen. He's fast, but they won't quite keep that one in, with the home fans applauding the intent there from Leighton Clarkson. And well, they've got their own issues in the league. Aberdeen, having started the season so well, it did drop off a cliff, but they've picked up again lately 4th place one below Hibs, one above United, but still not absolutely guaranteed top 6 football. But their sights will have to be set higher than that. They'll be aiming to finish in 3rd place if at all possible, as well as collecting some silverware in the shape of the Scottish Cup as they come forward once more through Keskinen, driving towards the edge of the penalty area, in from the left, away from Raymond, tries to find Nisbet, who's just behind him, and Queen's Park knock it clear up to the halfway line. But Aberdeen enjoying all the early second half possession. It's Knuster.
The target should be 3rd place for Aberdeen. I mean, it should be the target for Hibs and Hearts as well, and perhaps even Dundee United. But top 6 minimum, that's for sure. And I think that they are good enough. The players have been brought in the transfer window, the winter transfer window. I think looking at their squad, it's got good balance there. Obviously injuries can play a part, as it has done this afternoon, but at the same time I think the squad is strong enough, and that 3rd place should be their target.
Yeah, very much so. Here's Dorrington, on loan from Spurs, plays it forward to Dabag, challenged there by Raymond, manages to keep possession though, Dabag, and finds Palaversa, tries the no-look pass for Keskinen, a little bit of showboating there, maybe doesn't quite come off, and Queen's Park pick up right hand side, and it's Turner clipping it forward. He's looking for Drozd, in steps Knuster, chests it out of play, and Queen's Park throwing down beneath us here on the right hand side as they attack and try and somehow claw their way back into this cup tie with 4.5 minutes of the second half played. 3-0 they trail as Longridge takes a throw in into Raymond in the centre of the park, lifts it forward. Rudden tries to leave it for Droz, and Shinnie will just see that out of play comfortably behind for a goal kick to the home side.
Yeah, it's going to be a long 45 for Queen's Park, isn't it? I mean, they played some nice football, and the intent was there, but they didn't create many opportunities, and to suggest that they're going to get enough opportunities and take them to turn this one round, I just don't think will be the case. I'm sure just about everyone would agree with that. It depends on Aberdeen though, do they want more goals? Do they want to take it to Queen's Park? I think they do. I think the intent is still there.
There's a chance here for Nisbet, and Ferry denies him. He was well out of his goal there, Callum Ferry, almost in the penalty spot as the ball fell to Nisbet. They seemed to just creep through to Nisbet. The bag perhaps was looking to get a touch on it earlier than that. He couldn't reach it, came to Nisbet, but out came Ferry to block and deny Kevin Nisbet his own second goal in Aberdeen, a 4th of the afternoon.
Yeah, we're a little bit disappointed they didn't find the net with that one. Really good crossfield pass, diagonal pass from Jensen, and it did go by the bag, and Nisbet's there, but good goalkeeping, I would suggest. I felt that Ferry was out very sharp. I mean, he's beyond his penalty spot there to get the block on Nisbet. So good goalkeeping.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed at the way the 3rd goal went in, and he's a goalkeeper who have enjoyed watching in our championship coverage over the last few years. Always tends to turn in good performances, but he let them drop somewhat in letting Shinnie's effort from the edge of the box creep past him at the end of the first half, and effectively finish the cup tie as a contest. As Shinnie picks up possession here and plays it back to Knuster, and now onto the halfway line for Dorrington. Clarkson available to him, he plays it back to Knuster, left hand side, coming forward as Aberdeen look for further goals in this second period. Shinnie now left hand side, just takes a nudge in the back there from Turner before playing it back to Clarkson, who arrows it out to the far side. A great ball for Morris, who kills it with a good first touch and then tries to take on Mock and gets to the byline. Has his shirt tugged, it's a goal for Ode Dabag. That is wonderful from Shayden Morris, doing just what Willie Miller's been begging him to do all afternoon, taking a touch away from Mock and getting to the byline, firing it into the 6-yard box, where Ode Dabag did the rest, tapping it into the empty net to make it Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 0.
That's his trick, that's what he's good at. He's magnificent at it. Actually a little bit of body movement there, sending Mock in the wrong way before he hits the byline, but once he hits the byline, he just drills it across the face of the goal. It's almost impossible to defend. Defenders could end up putting that in the back of the net themselves, but the bag is there to take an easy opportunity. Got to be in the right place, but it's fantastic for Shayden Morris. Just a little touch, takes it to the byline. Doesn't hit the byline, he's a good, maybe 4 or 5 yards off the byline. The drive across the face of the goal is wonderful, and such an easy goal for the bag. You know, strikers will just thrive on that type of service.
Yeah, the crossfield ball from Leighton Clarkson was terrific as well, and Morris's first touch was excellent, and then just left Zach Mawkin for dead, trying to clutch his jersey to keep up with him, but he didn't prevent Morris getting the cross in, and that provided the tap in for Dabag, with Ferry caught out at his near post, couldn't get anything on it. And Aberdeen have a 4-goal advantage, and they are thoroughly enjoying themselves out there as Nisbet plays a nutmeg there on Raymond and plays it forward down the right hand side for Jensen, about 10 yards from the corner flag. Back it goes to Morris. Morris into the feet of Nisbet, who lays it back for Palaversa, tries to feed it back into Nisbet. That's cut out and Raymond picks up it. He almost loses out at the edge of his own penalty area, does find Hurst in the end. And back now with Mawkin, who just got a taste of the lightning pace. He was just so quick off the mark, Shayden Morris, wasn't he? Mawkin couldn't live with it.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't. I mean, first of all, the defender's too close to him as well. You know, and his body position is poor. He's square on, but you know, Morris takes full advantage of it. He stops the ball, and it's that just electric kind of a pace over 3-4 yards. You know, and he just touched the ball to his right hand side, and then he's looked up and he's picked out. You actually don't need to pick out anybody when you drive that ball across the face of the goal. As I said earlier, you know, defenders can touch it and put it in their own net. He's got a couple of red jerseys there, and it's the bag that benefits from it at the back post. Yeah,
his 3rd goal of the season, as Nicolas Udur is down requiring treatment for Queen's Park, and looks like there's a bit of activity in both technical areas at the moment. I'm not sure if Udur is going to be able to continue, as the physio examines, I think, his right ankle there. And both sets of coaching staff looking to potentially tinker with the lineups here, but it definitely looks like Queen's Park are going to be forced into a change here. The bib going back on, actually one of their substitutes who looked like he was about to come on, maybe just waiting to see if Udur is able to continue before they finalise their changes here. He's back on his feet, and he's going to have to come off for the moment at least. Will he be able to come back on? That's what Callum Davidson's waiting to try and establish, as Josh Hines is certainly looking like he's going to come on for the visitors, who trail by 4-0 here at Pittodrie, with still over half an hour to play of this second half. Udur doesn't look especially comfortable. I'm not sure if he is going to be replaced here by Hines, but as Callum Davidson said in his pre-match interview, they are short of numbers. They've got players both cup-tied and also quite a few out injured, and a squad that is not strongest even at the best of times is looking even more threadbare, as Udur is indeed replaced by Josh Hines for the final 30 odd minutes here, and Callum Davidson trying to get instructions on, and a slight change of formation here as well, I think, potentially for the visitors, as Aberdeen prepare to make changes of their own. Fletcher Boyd is going to come on for Odi Dabag, and the other change that's going to happen is Papa Gay replacing Kevin Nisbet. So no hat-trick this afternoon for Odi Dabag, as he's applauded off. So too Kevin Nisbet. The cup tie is well and truly won. There's going to be a further change with Peter Ambrose replacing Topi Keskinen. So 3 changes for Aberdeen, who take the opportunity to blood young Fletcher Boyd, who's impressed in his brief appearances so far in an Aberdeen jersey. A lot of promise he's showing, and just freshening things up other than that with the introduction of both Ambrose and Gay up front.
Yeah, giving the youngster an opportunity, the opportunity to get out there once again and show what he's capable of. Ambrose as well, he hasn't had many minutes on the field of play, so I think Jimmy Tillene's doing exactly the right thing, and Papagay getting the opportunity to get the legs moving as well. So 3 very positive changes, all forward-thinking players as well. You've got to enjoy that.
Yeah, well, the Aberdeen fans will be hoping those 3 can continue the type of performance their side have turned in so far and add further goals in the closing half hour. 4-0 they lead with 58 minutes on the clock as Longridge picks up, knocks it back to his goalkeeper, who then plays it out to Tizard. Now Mockin left hand side, back to Callum Ferry once more, under pressure there. Gay closing him down, just gets the ball clear in time before he was closed down properly, and out of play over on the far side for an Aberdeen throw in. Josh Hines is I think playing it right, but Louis Longridge looks like he's now playing at centre back, and he's versatile, but I've never seen him playing at centre back before. As Ambrose picks up and knocks it out to the left hand side for Gay to run it the Queen's Park backline, back in with Shayden Morris. Ferry gets enough behind it to keep it out, and then has to push it away before Gay can turn in the rebound, and it will be an Aberdeen corner. So close to a 5th goal of the afternoon.
It was, wasn't it? Shayden Morris, coming in off his wide position and having a pop, wanting to join the party in terms of getting in the score sheet. It's a decent save from Ferry. He has to react as well because didn't manage to get it touched round the post initially. Papagay was looking to get on the end of it, but the goalkeeper managing to touch it for the corner.
In comes the corner from the left hand side. It's Palaversa's delivery. It's going to be another corner. It's headed behind Queen's Park player, and the Dons will continue to look to add to their advantage. It was just a 1-0 victory, but when the sides met in the League Cup earlier in the season, Topi Keskinen's 90th minute winner, but it's been far more comfortable for Aberdeen as Palaversa swings another one in to the near post. It's a good delivery once more, but the referee has spotted an infringement in there. It will be a Queen's Park free kick, but still a half an hour to play. They trail by 4-0.
Yeah, it's easy street for Aberdeen now, isn't it? And being able to get the fresh legs on too, and giving some fringe players the opportunity to taste some minutes on the park, I think is really positive. As far as Queen's Park concerned, it's a really difficult situation to find themselves in. A little bit of pride perhaps they're playing for. Don't want this to get too nasty, too embarrassing, for Aberdeen to run up a huge score. They're more than capable of it, but I do think probably the substitutions will help Queen's Park. I think the players that went off are of a better quality than the players that have come on, but I can understand the reason why the changes have been made.
Hines can't bring the ball under control. Shinnie steps in. He was being fouled there by Drozd, for whom the afternoon has not quite been as enjoyable as his one at Ibrox was when he scored that winning goal, the only goal of the game, to knock Rangers out and cause one of the biggest Scottish Cup sensations of all time. Aberdeen have been on the receiving end of one of them as well in recent times, but absolutely no danger of that occurring this afternoon. They have been way too good for the visiting side, as offside flag goes up there against Shinnie, who was trying to get forward down the left flank, but Aberdeen cruising to victory here. Still 28 minutes to go, and they have a 4-goal advantage, and really it's about how many they can get, and Queen's Park trying to limit the damage as much as possible.
Yep, damage limitation, I would suggest. The pace of the game has certainly flattened. It's gone south. Shinnie's still energetic, trying to get forward on that occasion, putting himself in an offside position, but I think it's really difficult when it's 4-0 and you're at home and you're cruising and you've got the game won, and the manager starts making changes. And for the opposition, then there's nothing really other than pride that they've got to play for, because the game's way beyond them.
Yeah, it's going to be a long closing 27.5 minutes for Queen's Park and their travelling fans as Aberdeen play out from the back. Knouster finding Shinnie, left-hand side, bursting forward, and plays out to Clarkson. Clarkson for Gay, left-hand side up against Hines, and then threads it forward looking for Boyd. Has asked an awful lot of him, far too much in fact, and it's just seen it a play by Tizard for a goal kick to Queen's Park as down goes Knouster, requiring some treatment. That's not good news for Jimmy Tilleen, who's already lost Knouster's Tobers from his central defence before this game, and looks like Knouster might need a bit of treatment here himself.
I think is it his nose? I'm just trying to. He's taking some kind of a knock in the nose. So, come on, he's a centre back. He should be used to that. I don't think he's going to have to come off. Jack Milne is on the bench, and you would think that he would get the opportunity to go in there. That being the case, but I think he's taken a knock. Maybe at that corner where there was bodies flying everywhere. He's taken an elbow or something. Yeah, it's just he should be okay.
Well, Jimmy Tilleen just exchanging a few words with some of his players down in the touchline, but he'll be well pleased with their afternoon's work thus far, booking their place in the Scottish Cup semi-final. And you were talking earlier on, Willie, about the ambitions of finishing third in the league. What would it mean to this? So we talked about a generation of fans who haven't seen their side lifting the Scottish Cup. What would it mean to the people of Aberdeen if they could end that run?
I mean, it's huge. The Scottish Cup is the cup that you want to lift, and it's been such a long time. And Aberdeen got a very productive history in the tournament, and getting to the final, actually lifting it would just ignite the Jimmy Tilleen revolution. Really, I think the fans are wholeheartedly behind them. They're behind the club. The attendances are telling you that. League attendances are quite outrageous at times. So everything's really positive. To lift the Scottish Cup this season would be something sensational, and it would galvanise the club, and it would certainly rouse this city. And it's not easy to rouse Aberdeen, but they would be roused on the back of Scottish Cup victory, that's for sure.
Well, this will be their fifth semi-final appearance in 8 years as Zach Grudden looks to restore a bit of respectability to the scorelines. Draws, eventually pokes it goalwards. Dimitar Mitov not happy with his defence and allowing the shot to come in, but he's able to gather it pretty comfortably as Queen's Park get themselves up the park for the first time in quite a while, but it comes to nothing for them, and it remains Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 0.
It was only 3 yards offside. The linesman eventually puts his flag up, but I mean, he's sitting right in front of us here. And Rudden's well offside, so when it's as extreme as that, I think you just put your flag up. If it's close and you're not 100% sure, then obviously keep the flag down. But on that occasion, it should have went up much sharper.
Yeah. So as I say, this will be their fifth semi-final appearance in 8 seasons, which is pretty good going. But last in the final in 2017 when they lost out pretty agonisingly to Celtic on that occasion, and of course the Celtic still being in the tournament, and they will be the team to beat. They will be most people's favourites to go on and clinch the treble this season. We'll see how they get on against a resurgent Hibs tomorrow. A really intriguing one that at Celtic Park, with Hibs having beaten them recently in the league at Easter Road. Here's Raymond coming forward for Queen's Park. He's fouled by Shane Morris and wins the side a free kick just outside the penalty area over on the left hand side. And I mean, I guess for Queen's Park there's little to be taken from the closing stages of this, but if they could get themselves a consolation, it's at least something positive to take from the game.
Yeah, and I think that is probably what's in their mind, what's in Callum Davidson's mind is just keeping it respectable, maybe trying to get a goal back. Aberdeen making the changes, as it disrupted their flow. Hasn't made them any better, I don't think, but at the same time, from a Queen's Park point of view, just something out of the game. Take some positivity out of this game.
Here's Raymond with the free kick from the left hand side, just evades running, come back to running. They have got a goal back. Queen's Park, well, it would be a stretch to say they're back in the contest, but they are on the score sheet. It was Zach Rudden that just evaded him initially as it came in from the left-hand side, but it came off another player back into his path, and he slammed it beyond Dimitar Mitov to make it Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1.
It's a good delivery into the box. It's in between goalkeeper and defenders. Just trying to see who it actually comes off of. I think it's an Aberdeen player. Is it Papagay that it comes off of? And Rudden has made that run towards the near post. It's went over his head. It's come off the shin, I think, of an Aberdeen player and fallen into the path of Zach Rudden, who's just stroked into the back of the net. A little bit good fortune in terms of it falling for him, but the delivery into the box was the most important thing, and it was delivered extremely accurately and difficult to defend.
The check is over and the goal is given. Zach Rudden has a 14th goal of the season. A pretty good return for a mid-table championship side, and well, just as we were talking about, they do have what looks very much like a consolation goal. I mean, it would be the comeback to end all comebacks if they were able to get themselves back into it. But 4-1 down, they do have something to celebrate. Rory Loy in our Glasgow studio watching on. Queen's Park deserved that for their efforts so far this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Aberdeen came out and got the fourth pretty early in the second half there. Also, I did say that I thought when the substitutes come on for Aberdeen, they might be a little bit more rejuvenated, point to prove, but it hasn't really worked out that way. In Queen's Park, they've put a lot into the game. They've got their goal. They're not going to go through the tie. So, whether they deserve it or not based on the actual football that's been played, I'm not quite sure. But it's nice to see them getting a goal because they certainly won't be going through.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. We've got just over 20 minutes to play. It looks like Jack Milne's going to come on shortly for Aberdeen, having had a spell out, injured recently. Another youngster being given some more minutes by Jimmy Tilleen, with his side leading by 4-1, and still very much in command of this cup tie. Picked up by Morris in the halfway line. Can't get past Mochen on that occasion though. And now it's with Hurst, back with Raymond. And now Tizard back to Raymond, going down that left-hand side. He's looked pretty bright and lively since he's come on, and the delivery of the free kick that led to the goal was, as you say, a difficult one to defend.
He has, yeah. He's injected energy into the midfield. Raymond has, and he's been really positive. Good touch on the ball too. He seems to have some decent pace. And very forward thinking, so he's made a difference. They've got that goal back. That will give them a lift, and Aberdeen just got to make sure that they don't give anything else away, I would suggest. Yeah, I've got another free kick here, Queen's Park. Out comes Mitov, completely misses it, and he's pretty fortunate that no Queen's Park player was there to knock into the net, as it just evades everyone in the end and behind for a goal kick. But Mitov complaining. I don't think it was an infringement. I don't think it was a free kick that's been given. No, indeed, it is just the goal kick, and that won't be taken until after this change is made by Aberdeen. It is Jack Milne coming on to replace Alfie Dorrington, who started the game in place of the injured Tobers, and he himself was replaced for the closing 19 minutes here by another Aberdeen youngster in the shape of Jack Milne. Yeah, Mitov coming out there. He's complaining about an infringement. I didn't see too much in it, and for the life of me, I don't know why he's coming. He's 14 yards out. Yeah, just stay in your goal line there. The defenders have actually got that covered. There's no need for him to come out there and put himself into a position where he might just not time his leap. He might not just graft the ball and give the opposition an opportunity. Raymond doing well again there on the left-hand side. Whips in a really good ball, and Drost just unable to get there. It was Knuster who had to head it clear, but Raymond, he really has been impressive on that left flank on loan from Crystal Palace. And that was brilliant, Al, wasn't it? That was brilliant, I thought, because it was so tight down the left-hand side, and the cross into the box was dangerous.
And just to welcome those of you who've been tuned into Off the Ball. It's Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1 here. Aberdeen well on course to book their place in the Scottish Cup semi-final. So we've got about 17 and a half minutes remaining of this one, but Queen's Park, they were 4-0 down. They've got themselves what looks like a consolation goal through Zach Rudden, but just in the last few minutes they've been making a pretty decent fist of trying to get another one. And we've just been talking about Jaden Raymond, who's come on, and you have to wonder, Willie, given what he's shown so far, why he wasn't in the starting lineup.
Yeah, he's been impressive. He has turned things round. He's full of energy, but more than that, he's got a lot of quality as well. His control, his offensive play, taking the ball to Aberdeen, taking the game to Aberdeen, taking on defenders as well and going by them, and delivery from set pieces as well.
Here's Morris though going the other way, and he's taken on Raymond. He's got to the byline and he's stood it up, but Callum Ferry claims at his near post to halt that attack. But again, the Aberdeen fans enjoying the sight of Shayden Morris doing what Willie's been begging him to do all afternoon, hitting the byline and getting the cross in. On that occasion it was well taken by Callum Ferry, and it remains Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1.
He's so good at it, Al. He's got that pace, he's got the little dip of the shoulder as well. Unfortunately, the cross into the box wasn't a particularly good one on this occasion. I think he's got to maybe get more power behind it, or get the head up and try to pick someone out. It's too easy for Ferry to just grasp that one, but the intent is there. He's constantly doing it now. That's what he should be doing. That's what he should be doing in every game, whether he comes on as a sub. He normally does it when he comes on as a sub. When he's started games, he hasn't been as fruitful, but he's definitely got the ability. He's got the ability to take on defenders and cause mayhem in the opposition box.
A couple of changes there from Callum Davison's side. Roddy McGregor has come on, as has Rocco Higgy Fugazia, and the players going off were Drozd and Kyle Hurst was the other player to be replaced for Queen's Park, who've won themselves a free kick right hand side here, midway inside the Aberdeen half, and forward goes Alexa Tizard to try and pose some aerial threat. We've got 15 minutes remaining, 4-1 Aberdeen lead as Longridge stands over this free kick. Well, you never know, I suppose another goal back and maybe the nerves begin to jangle for Aberdeen. As unlikely as that seems, the initial free kick is cleared, but the return ball from Longridge's swept goal was by Mockin, but too high with that effort over the top from Mockin, and it remains Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1. The goals, 3 of them came in the first period. Kevin Nisbet with a deft flick for the opener. Odi Dabag got his first goal of the game a couple of minutes later, and just before half-time, Graham Shinnie effort from the edge of the box. Callum Ferry touching it onto the post, but in it went off the inside of the post to make it 3-0. It was quickly 4-0 at the start of the second period, as the Bag got his second from an excellent Morris cross before Rudden got Queen's Park on the scoreboard. And that is how things stand. Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1, with just under a quarter of an hour left, as Clarkson plays it forward to Boyd. Boyd with a loose ball back for Knuster, and Knuster has to chase that and play it down the left wing. He's done well there, but then another loose touch from Boyd, and looked like it came off Welsh, but the referee is giving the throw in to Queen's Park down beneath us, about midway inside the Aberdeen half, and the right hand side as Queen's Park come forward. They're going back the way here to Tizard. Tizard steps away from Ambrose, and now it's Mockin just at the edge of the centre circle, takes a chance there against Ambrose and is fouled by the striker, and it'll be a free kick. You do have to say, Willie, that the substitutions have just taken the rhythm right out of Aberdeen's game, haven't they?
Yeah, all the energy you expect the subs to come on and inject something special. That hasn't been the case. It's been the opposite, isn't it? It's actually taking the tempo down, and the applause in the background for Shayden Morris, and it's well deserved, I think. After a very sluggish start, he's been really positive, and if he keeps that positivity going, then it's really difficult for Jimmy Tulane to leave him out the starting lineup. But yeah, the subs just have not worked at all. You would have thought that these guys coming on have got a point to prove. They would inject at least energy, and you haven't seen that energy. You haven't seen that kind of a willingness to show to the manager that they should be starting.
Dante Polvara, the player who has come on to replace Shayden Morris for the closing 12 minutes, as Shinnie is fouled there by Turner, and it'll be an Aberdeen free kick. But yeah, Morris has played a big part in a couple of the goals, assists for both of the bags actually, and as Willie says, going off to a standing ovation there as Milne turns it back to Mitov. Closed down by Rudden, but gets the ball out to the left hand side for Shinnie to nod on. Longridge first to it, and it's going to break to Jensen in the middle of the park. Nudge there by McGregor, and the free kick goes Aberdeen's way. Quickly taken from Jensen to Clarkson, out to the right hand side to Papagay, who's gone out to that right flank, and he's slipped away from his marker. Into the penalty he goes. Papagay goes for goal, and just wide of the near post. Excellent run from the substitute, and he almost finished it off himself, but inches wide, and it remains Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1.
He's got that from time to time, has Papagay, not often enough, otherwise he would be starting more games. But that strength, that ability, I think it was a little nutmeg on Raymond as well out in the touchline, and then real positive run to take on defenders, and then cutting in, and with the left foot he's just tugged it too much. It's just slid by that near post, but that's better play. You're expecting that from players that have got the opportunity in a game that has been won, to show the manager, to show the fans here what they're capable of. And Papagay's definitely capable of special things, but for me just doesn't do it nearly enough.
80th minute then at Pittodrie. Aberdeen cruising into the Scottish Cup semi-final. Live coverage of the remaining two semis over the next couple of days, as well as Falkirk Dunfermline coming up at 3 o'clock in the Championship. Stick with us for that, as Aberdeen have a lovely little nutmeg in the middle of the park there from Clarkson to step away from Hickey Fugazia, then out to the right hand side from Ambrose to Gay, waits for Jensen on the overlap, he cuts it back. Polvara spins, can he get the shot off here? Lovely footwork from Polvara, good save from Ferry to deny Aberdeen a wonderful goal. It still might come. Jensen in for Ambrose. Oh, what a save from Callum Ferry, my lord. He was coming across his goal and he had to fling himself to his left as Ambrose headed back the way, and a couple of times there Aberdeen almost finishing things off in style, but for Callum Ferry.
It was a brilliant save eventually, wasn't it? And Polvara doing extremely well, showing some very neat footwork in the box, but when the cross comes in from the right hand side, as it breaks back out, is well blocked. Ferry again blocking it for Jensen to curl it, and then Ambrose, and what a save that is. That is quite magnificent, because his body movement is going towards the back post, and Ambrose has headed it back across the face of the goalkeeper, and he's got to be fully stretched to get his fingertips on it. Magnificent goalkeeping. Big chance for Aberdeen, but thwarted by Ferry.
Yeah, it was indeed a terrific save by Callum Ferry. We've seen it time and again in the Championship, and unfortunately for him, it's not going to aid his side in getting through this cup tie, but nonetheless keeping the scoreline at 4-1 for the moment at least, with 8 minutes left here at Pittodrie plus any added on time, as Knuster has it at the back for Aberdeen. Down the right it goes for Jensen. He's dispossessed though by McGregor, and it's back with Mockin midway inside his own half. Now Raymond, left hand side, fires it forward, looking for Rudden. Rudden can't bring it under control though, and it's all the way through to Mitov, who just comes out to the right hand side of his penalty area, plays it short to Milne, and in turn plays it to Clarkson, and now Palaversa looks over the top for Gay, looking to get the better here of Mockin. Gay brings it under control, and pokes it in the direction of Boyd. It's knocked away though by the Queen's Park defence, and they'll try and come forward down the right hand side. It's good play here from Hickey Fagazia, shrugging off Palaversa, driving into the penalty area, looking to get beyond Knister. He goes down there, and it's going to be a corner in the end. Good run from Hickey Fagazia, showing really good persistence there, and eventually crashes to the ground and won't get the penalty, but he will get a corner kick.
Yeah, it was a really positive run down the right hand side. I think it's Leighton Clarkson that eventually he comes over and blocks him. There's a little bit of contact there. There's not nearly enough, I don't think, for any kind of a penalty check. But it gets you up the park. You need ball carriers. Is that Clarkson that's getting a bit of the old toe pushed up towards the knee? It is, so a bit of cramp there for the midfield. He's been impressive this afternoon. He's controlled that midfield extremely well. He's been spraying passes all over the place too, mind you. He's had a lot of room and plenty of space to do it.
Yeah, he's going to have to soldier on here as Queen's Park prepare to take the corner kick from the right hand side. Roddy McGregor over this one, fires it towards the back post. Tizard's there. Ambrose got something on it though for Aberdeen, and then Milne helps it out of the area. Gay down the right for Shinnie. Shinnie on that right flank, challenged well by Mawkin, who gets it to Raymond though on the left now for Queen's Park as they come forward in towards McGregor, but Palaversa sticks out a toe and gets it to Polvara, who then overruns it, but it falls into the path of Clarkson. Boyd it was, who couldn't keep hold of possession there, and Queen's Park have it back through Turner. Right hand side, Hickey Fugazia, who's got Rocco on his shirt, which is probably a little bit easier for commentators, but he swings it to the back post, evades Rudden. Raymond will keep it in though on the left hand side up against Jensen, onto the right foot, low ball in, swept away by Palaversa as young Aidan McGinley prepares to come on for Queen's Park in the next break of play. It's going to be a debut for him, a moment to remember, as the ball flashes through, and is that McGregor who's stretching to try and get on the end of it inside the Aberdeen penalty. He just evaded him, but his efforts at getting onto it almost fooled Mitov, and it almost flew into the back of the net, just a yard or so wide of the far post in the end, as Sean Wells troops off to be replaced by the debutant Aidan McGinley, and almost though will he a second goal for Queen's Park.
Yeah, McGregor wasn't far away from getting his left boot on it. For me, it's a miscommunication there between Mitov and Milne. Milne left it, he's turned round, and I'm sure he's saying to Mitov, you shouted for that ball, you shouted for me to let it go, and that's what I did. It didn't get too heated, because McGregor didn't get anything on it, but at the same time, there's got to be better communication there between centre back and goalkeeper.
Throw into Queen's Park over on the far side, as I mentioned. It's a debut for Aidan McGinley, the 18-year-old. And although Queen's Park are heading out of the Scottish Cup, it's a day that he will certainly remember. And as Louis Longridge has it on the halfway line, plays it into McGinley, tries to spin away from young Boyd, 17-year-old, another Aberdeen youth product. Now Mawkin brings it forward for Queen's Park. 4-1 they trail with 4 minutes to play. You listen to Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland. Stay with us for Falkirk Dunfermline at 3 o'clock in the Championship as Hines sends it in. It's a good ball, it's a good header, but it's off target there from Hickey Fugazia, who arrived late. He's not the tallest of players, but he rose well, got plenty on the header, just not the direction he required. And on 86 minutes it remains Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1.
Yeah, he gets too much room, doesn't he, Hickey Fugazia? Is it Fugazia? Yeah,
Fugazia, I think.
Fugazia,
rather than Focaccia, which is something you'll probably have for your pasta later on, Willie.
Yeah, perhaps I was thinking along these lines. But his nickname is what? Rocky.
Rocco, that's his first name. That's right. What he's got in his shirt.
Okay, Rocco it is now.
You call him that.
Yeah, it was a decent header, wasn't it? He found a good pocket of space there. Good cross from the right hand side. Got plenty on it. Good forehead on it. Just lacked the direction. From our angle, it looked as though it might have ended up in the top corner, but it just flew past that near post.
They've had a few chances since getting that one goal that Zach Rudden did notch for them. They've had one or two that might have given them even more of a lifeline in the game.
They have, yeah, and you know, I think Jimmy Tillene will be disappointed with the fact that that's the case. You know, Aberdeen have certainly, you know, turned the gas off. When you start making all these changes as well, I just think it takes a rhythm out. It's not an excuse. It shouldn't be an excuse, because these players coming on should actually, you know, make it to lighten the game up, and they haven't done that. They just haven't done it. And you know, fair play to Queen's Park. They've battled away. They haven't given up.
Palaversa, Jensen with the cut back away by Tizard inside his own 6-yard box as Aberdeen look for a fifth late on here. A couple of minutes to go, and it remains 4-1, and there's going to be a free kick to Queen's Park over on the far side as Jensen is penalised for his challenge. But Aberdeen are going to run out comfortable winners, there's no doubt about that, and deserved winners. But Queen's Park, as you say, Willie, they've ensured it didn't get embarrassing and got themselves the consolation, and as I mentioned, had a couple of other chances that they could have made it even tighter in these closing stages.
Yeah, I think when it goes to 4-0, then the worry is, from a Queen's Park point of view, that it does get a little bit embarrassing. But I think it's been a combination that, you know, they have stuck to the game plan. The substitutes that Callum Davidson has made have been, you know, positive ones, and they've had an effect in a positive manner. As far as Jimmy Tillene's concerned, then, you know, that's been the exact opposite. The substitutes haven't made, you know, a difference. In fact, the difference they have made has been negative. It's been, you know, not a positive change. It's been negative changes, which must be frustrating for any manager. But for Callum Davidson, yeah, a little bit of pride was required towards the end of this game, and I think he certainly got that out of his players.
Here's Hines, dispossessed by Boyd. He should have played the ball back to McGinley, who was in support, but tried to take Boyd on, and the young man got the better of him. Then good skill from Clarkson there to poke it forward to Boyd once more, crossing the halfway line and finding Polvara for Ambrose, edge of the box, turns back in on his right foot. Can he get the shot off here? He's closely watched there by Longridge, sends out to the right hand side now for Papagay, up against Raymond here at the edge of the box. Papagay just overdoing it, and eventually challenged by Hickey Fogazia as we head towards the 90-minute mark, and the fourth official, Dan McFarlane, down there holding his board and about to show us exactly how much longer there is to play. There's absolutely no doubt that Aberdeen are going to take their place in Monday's semi-final draw. A couple of minutes to be added on then, and Aberdeen lead by 4-1, and will be back at Hampden.
Yeah, deserved the victory for the home side. There's no doubt in that. It's been a powerful performance right up until perhaps Jimmy started making all the changes, and perhaps you should be expecting that takes the sting out of the play. But you know, the goal scorer that you brought in at the transfer window's got a couple of goals. Nisbet is beginning to, you know, find his form and find his touch and find the back of the net. And of course, Graham Shinnie in his 600th appearance gets a goal as well, so a lot to be happy with if you're an Aberdeen supporter.
Yeah, it's appearance number 289 in an Aberdeen shirt for Graham Shinnie, and 600 in total. And he won the Scottish Cup with Inverness Cally Thistle, part of the Aberdeen team that lost the 2017 final, and he'll be looking to get his hands on a winner's medal at the end of this season as Dimitar Mitov launches it long over the halfway line. We're into the second minute of time added on at the end of this second period, as Gay pops it back to Polvara. He's challenged by Rodden, breaks for Palaversa, and now it's Jack Milne just inside his own half, plays it short to Palaversa once more, and back the way to Knuster, into Polvara, and Knuster once more midway inside his own half. Then Milne back to Dimitar Mitov at the final seconds tick down before Aberdeen are confirmed as joining Hearts in the Scottish Cup semi-final hat. There is the referee's final whistle, and it was very much a case of job done after pretty much 45 minutes for Aberdeen. They had it in the bag with a 3-goal advantage at half-time thanks to goals from Nisbet, Dabag and Shinnie. And into the second half, Dabag got his second and Aberdeen's fourth to make it absolutely sure of their progress to the next round. Queen's Park did get a goal on 68 minutes as the ball fell to Rudden inside the penalty area and he slammed home to get them a consolation. He had a couple of chances after that to make it even more nervy perhaps for Aberdeen in the closing stages, but couldn't find another goal. Aberdeen cruising at that stage into the semi-final when the hard work had been done in the earlier stages, and although the performance dropped off after the substitutions were made, it's still a comfortable and deserved victory for Aberdeen. No more cup heroics for Queen's Park. They exit at the quarter-final stage, but Aberdeen will return to Hampden for semi-final duty, where they hope they can go at least one better than last season and make their way to the final itself. But at Pittodrie in this second Scottish Cup quarter-final of the weekend, it finishes Aberdeen 4, Queen's Park 1.